How's it going, everyone? My name is Mulder, and welcome to GameChron, your #1 stop for awesome tips and tricks on your favorite video games. Today we're looking at Rocket Arena's newest character, Flux, in our Rocket Arena gameplay tips and tricks Flux Beginners guide. We'll go over her 3 unique abilities and how best to combo them against your opponents. Those abilities are the Rockats, Blackhole Cat, and the Fluxverse. I'll also tell you what 3 artifacts I'm currently running with her that make her an excellent frontline character, along with playing a pretty good support as well. All that and more straight ahead. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for a lot more. Now without further ado, let's dive into our Rocket Arena tips video on Flux.
Opponent ball. Ball out of bounds.
Let's kick things off with her abilities. Now Flux's Rockats, that's with an A, are these 3 adorable little cat rockets that you can guide along towards your target. These guided rockets do a decent amount of damage by themselves, but if you're able to hit your target with all 3, you'll easily throw them into the red. These rockets are excellent for chasing down any runaways, or providing assistance to an ally who's struggling finishing off an opponent. Because these rockets pack such a heavy punch, this is what makes Flux a great frontline character to play as. But these rockets can also serve a great purpose with your Blackhole Cat ability. Now the Blackhole Cat ability allows you to shoot a giant cat rocket that absorbs all incoming rockets getting bigger, to where the moment it explodes, it causes massive damage to anyone caught in the blast. Now there are 2 ways you can fill up the Blackhole Cat rocket. The first is you can shoot this cat rocket directly towards your opponents that are shooting you, in which case their rockets will get absorbed into the cat and they'll get the explosion right back on their face. The second way is that if you launch your cat rocket in an area where you think your opponents are going to be, shoot your 3 cat rockets into the Blackhole Cat. Your own rockets can be used to increase the overall size and explosive damage that your Blackhole Cat can do. This is an excellent tactic to use when you're playing game modes like, say, Rocket Ball and you're trying to push the opponents away, or Mega Rocket when you need to clear enemies out of an area that you need to capture. Definitely try to strategize and plan your attack carefully when using the Blackhole Cat. Another thing too is try to make sure you're using the Blackhole Cat between close to medium range. If you try to use the Blackhole Cat at long range, don't be surprised if your cat hole rocket locks onto a target that's in the air and simply just flies away. Definitely be sure to use your Blackhole Cat rocket at a closer distance than long range if you can. Next up is the Fluxverse. Now the Fluxverse can be used in 3 different ways. The first and most obvious one is that you can use the Fluxverse to get away from danger. If your character is near the red, immediately deploy your Fluxverse, in which case you will go invisible and go to another dimension. Keep in mind you will not see any enemies or allies while you're in the Fluxverse. Not only that, but the moment you start shooting, you will immediately be pulled out of the Fluxverse. Use this as an opportunity to escape the danger and hide for cover while you regain your health. The second way to use the Fluxverse is to get the drop on your opponents by flanking them. This is an excellent ability to use at the start of any match, like say Rocket Ball or simply Knockout, to where you can flank your opponents from behind and attack them and wipe them out quickly. Be smart on how you use your Fluxverse when flanking, because again, you will not see any of your allies or enemies on the screen while you're in the Fluxverse. And then the third option is simply traveling around the map at high speeds without any enemies noticing you. I've actually used the Fluxverse to great success in Rocket Ball, to where once the ball was either knocked out of bounds or about to spawn in, because I was in the Fluxverse and invisible, the enemy didn't know I was there. So by the time I popped out of the Fluxverse, the ball was there, I got it, and immediately scored. Try to be as clever as you can when you're playing around in the Fluxverse. A simple combo to use against your opponent or opponents if you're surrounded is immediately launch your Blackhole Cat and fill it up with your rockets. Once your opponents have been caught by the blast and sent flying in the air, try to use this opportunity to finish them off by simply firing your remaining Rocket Cats and guiding them towards their target. Keep in mind, your Rocket Cats, even if they only hit your target a few times, will also push them back pretty far out of the map. I've gotten actually a few KOs by simply pushing my opponents out of the arena without actually hitting them into the red. And then finally, to finish off this combo, is that if you have any opponents that are making a run for it, go into your Fluxverse and flank around them and finish them off while they're trying to hide to regain health. Definitely try to use Flux as more of a frontline / ninja style character. Because she can go invisible and she hits so dang hard with her rockets, definitely try to use this as your opportunity to give this a chance for you and your allies to not only flank your opponents, but surround them as well. A good character combo with Flux is of course Blastbeard. I've had a few rounds by playing with an allied Blastbeard to where both he and I were able to blast our opponents out into the oblivion, or if they were simply sent off into the air thanks to Blastbeard's explosion ability, I was able to finish off with my guided Rockats. Definitely mix and match and be clever on how you want to use Flux and her supportive and also frontline capabilities, and you will love playing as this character. Bear in mind that she is very squishy on the battlefield, so be sure to be smart in how you want to attack your opponents. Now let's quickly talk about the artifacts I'm currently running with her. Now because I mentioned a moment ago that she is a bit of a squishy character, you definitely want to use the Hunter's Idol. Even with the Hunter's Idol attached to her, she was still pretty squishy, so be clever on how you want to use her. The next thing I have attached to her to increase her overall power is of course the Powder Keg. Now because this character can't fly, the Powder Keg is perfect to use for her. It adds more devastating power to your Rockats, but moreover that this artifact makes your Blackhole Cat even more devastating on the battlefield. Having a fully powered up Blackhole Cat along with your Powder Keg artifact, you're just gonna lay waste to to your opponents left and right. Now the best way to stack on top of this damage is of course your boom bit, which every single time you get a KO with this artifact, your damage output is increased for a short bit of time. Flux is easily a great character in this game, although I will admit her Fluxverse is a little cheap. Because she can go invisible and take cover pretty easily, I can definitely see some players getting frustrated with her. But all in all, I think she's a great addition to the game. Use her as a frontline soldier, and at your last ditch effort, use her as a support class character. Use one or two of your Rockats to soften up your opponent, while then launching your Blackhole Cat as your opponent tries to close the distance on you, absorbing all their rockets into your Blackhole Cat. Once they're either hit directly by the rocket, or if they're caught within the blast radius of the Blackhole Cat, finish them off with either your last or a few left of your Rockats. Combo Flux with either a Blast Beard or Blink, and you will dominate the field as this character and have a blast doing it. And that's it for our Rocket Arena gameplay tips and tricks Flux Beginners Guide. I hope this video helped you out, and if it did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for a lot more. I did mention in my previous video we will be doing Booney next, which we will in the next video. So keep those comments coming down below. We're also doing Destroy All Humans as our new tips and tricks video series, but there's plenty more games to come, such as Cyberpunk 2077, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Pathfinder Kingmaker, and so much more. So be sure to stick around. I'm Mulder, and I'll see you next time in the GameChron.